Hello and welcome to another edition of Hands-On Cooking with Renee Baribeau, the Shaman Chef. Today is part 2 of the Yule Log edition, and we will be learning how to do the rum buttercream and finish the Yule Log so that it actually looks like it has tree bark. We started by melting the semi-sweet or bittersweet chocolate, your preference. We made a double boiler by putting some water in the bottom pan, putting a bowl that fits snugly across the top, and put the chocolate in there, turned it on, brought it up to a boil, and then turned it off and just left it so that the chocolate could melt. And we're going to do this before we do some other projects because this will be the bark for the Yule Log. And it's better to let this sit up. But basically what you're doing is you're spreading a very, very thin, as thin as you can without seeing through to the parchment paper, layer of chocolate. If you're in a hurry, you can put this in the freezer. When you're ready to use it, you'll take it out and bring it back to room temperature so that it will be pliable. Spreading it so that it's even, but also that it's not a thick layer that when you go to cut it or serve it, you can actually, bite right through it. Before we assemble our Yule Log, we're going to get together all of the different components, and one of those is a simple syrup with dark rum. And the simple syrup is equal parts of water and sugar, which have been brought to a boil. Let the sugar dissolve, turn it off, and once it's cool, we add the dark rum. We learned in the sponge cake edition about separating eggs. Well, we need more eggs separated. This time, the buttercream, however, just uses the egg yolk. So you could take the egg whites and use it for omelets to lighten up your weekend after eating all of this egg yolk. Now we're going to make another simple syrup. So our simple syrup has been boiling on the stove for about 2 minutes. What you want to be careful here is not adding your simple syrup too quickly or you'll scramble your eggs instead of cooking your eggs. But now we're going to keep whipping these eggs until they're body temperature, right at about 98 degrees. So you can see that this is nice and light and fluffy now. And we're going to start adding the butter piece by piece. You want to make sure that the butter is incorporated with each addition. See how this is coming back together now? Scrape it down one more time. Chocolate's been added. A tablespoon of dark rum. And a tablespoon of vanilla. Use this. We'll now take the simple syrup with the rum in it, the sponge cake we made in our last edition, and this chocolate rum buttercream, and we'll finish up our Yule Log. We're going to unroll it as gently as we can. Don't worry if it cracks at this point because you'll glue it back together with the buttercream. And here we are now brushing this with our simple syrup that's been laden with rum. Then we're going to take our buttercream and we're just going to put it right here in the middle. And we're going to only go to the quarter edge of one side. The side that's broken a little bit, we'll put on the inside so that our outside has a nice fresh finished look. Now remember, this is butter and chocolate. So what happens when butter and chocolate get cold? They firm up. Remember, it's on that piece of parchment paper that's been buttered and sprinkled with cocoa powder. So here we go, we start to roll it. At this point, you can roll it right onto the plate that you're going to use. And go right like there. And there's your log. So we want to give ourselves a branch. And this isn't the biggest white platter. So we're going to take this branch and we're going to cut this off with that. And then we're going to use a couple of spatulas to put this in place on one side. And so you see, cut this on the bias and you have a branch. So you can also move it after it's frosted. But, they get a little temperamental because they're 2 pieces now. And what you're going to do is you're going to spread the frosting. Frosting spreads very, very nice and easy. You see, this is kind of a good job for somebody who's not a pastry chef because I can go with a rough frosting on here. Finished frosting the Yule Log, and now I've went and got that chocolate out of the freezer. And I'm going to start to peel it away. It's coming off in a pretty good one long strip here. So I'm going to actually put some bark onto the tree. It becomes pretty pliable, so you can use scissors. You can make this a little more festive with a little holly and kale. So you get some cranberries, and you pour those right on. And then I made a couple of these mushrooms. And then you give it a little Christmas dusting over the top. So here you have it, a festive holiday rum buttercream Yule log. This will certainly impress your family and friends. I want to thank you for watching another episode of Hands-On Cooking with Renee Baribeau, the Shaman Chef, and wish you a very, very happy holiday and prosperous new year.